most people is swinging back and through very lyrically, like Sam Snead or Gene Lidler, great rhythm. But then the slasher Arnold Palmer also had great rhythm in his own way. What all of those gentlemen did was they took the club face, the club shaft, the left hand, the left arm, through impact together. That's rhythm. Everything going around together, like horses on a merry-go-round. They go at different speeds because you got outside horses and inside horses. But they go around together at the same RPM, like a crankshaft and connecting rods. That's rhythm. Everything goes around together. And you screw up rhythm by bending the wrist, and now this guy goes faster than this guy, and everything slows down, the hands quits, and the whole shot is lost. So the idea is you keep your left wrist flat, not bent and not arched, through the ball. That's a horizontal motion. Flat, not bent, not arched. Horizontal motion this way. You come through the ball, that left wrist is flat. Now, what's interesting though is this left wrist can be flat and yet be in terms of its horizontal motion, and yet it can be in 3 different planes in terms of its rotational motion. I can have it turned out here. The turns is always to the right, to where my hand is perpendicular to a wall, this way, vertical to a wall. Or I can have this hand this way, perpendicular to the ground, to a floor. Or I can have the hand vertical, not to the floor and not to the wall, but to the plane, the inclined plane of motion itself. So vertical to the horizontal plane, the floor, vertical to the wall, or vertical to the inclined plane. Horizontal plane, vertical plane, inclined plane. And what's interesting is this inline condition of the club shaft, flat left wrist, and arm changes. That doesn't change, but the location of the club does. As I rotate through these positions, here I'm perpendicular to the ground, and it looks like this. Toe of the club's going down the line, and the club faces out here. If I turn this hand like this through the ball, which I might do deliberately to hit a higher, softer shot, now my left wrist is perpendicular to a wall, and the club face is wide open. But look where the club face is as I draw it back to here. I'm still in line. See, that's the travel of the horizontal action. That's the travel of the vertical action. And then in the middle is the travel in an angle, keeping that left wrist perpendicular or vertical to the angle plane. So again, for the shot I want with a lot of compression, there, notice if I pick this up, that toe of that club's going straight in the air. I have simply gone around in the circle. My left hand is perpendicular to the ground, and note the toe of the club is simply closed. That's a wonderful shot, lots of compression. I need another ball. Ball alert. Now I'm going to do exactly the opposite. That club face closed only. That's one of 3 motions it can make. The second motion is lay back only, no closing. And that will look like this. I'm going to take my hand palm down to the ground, perpendicular to a wall. You see that? Perpendicular to a wall, palm down to the ground. The first one's perpendicular to the ground this way, not this way. Now watch where this hand ends up. Notice the palm is down to the wall and the club face is facing straight up. You could put a glass on that club face. Now, did you see the difference in that ball flight? Much higher. But my wrist was still flat. I still brushed. I still went down. I still had a divot. But the ball responded totally different. And that's because the club face laid back. And it laid back because my left wrist laid back. When you control your left wrist, you control the club face. When you control the club face, you control the ball. When you control the ball, you control the game. All right, now, the third then, not closing, not laying back, but simultaneously closing and laying back. That's what we call angle hinging. You're staying perpendicular to the angle plane of the stroke, the inclined plane, and that looks like this. Whoa, my ball moved. Trip too mentally. Now look at the toe of the face of the club. I'm not going down the line. I'm not perpendicular to the wall, laid back on it. I'm there, halfway between the two. It is literally angled across the plane of the stroke. This is the natural consequence of the guy who drives his right arm out, and it looks like this, as opposed to this, we call those hitters. Swingers, you have a body rotation that throws the left wrist out, and now the toe is going down the line. So hitters tend to get angle hinging. That is, the left wrist stays vertical to the plane, and that looks like this. Look at that club face. I know exactly where it is, because I don't care about where it is. I know where my hands are. Hands are boss, not that dumb piece of steel. Hands are clamps, but they're very educated clamps. Now I'll use a little pivot to bring the club through, so, and, whoa, wonderful shot. Look at that, bang. Now the toe of the club's going down the line. Same club head orbit, 2 totally different club face alignments.
That's the story of hinge action. The hinge pin's located in the shoulder. It controls the flat left wrist, and your feel actually controls the face of itself. So, magic stuff.